You get a Bush Camping Tools here. Well, here's some tips for winter hiking, and that is I would take a 3 to 4 season rated tent. Definitely a 4-season tent is going to be better. I take a sleeping bag which is rated for sub-zero conditions. I would take a sleeping mat, not an air mattress, but a proper sleeping mat, such as a thermarest. If you're, below 4,000 meters, if you're going above 4,000 meters, probably something which doesn't need to be self-inflated. I would take multiple different types of cigarette lighters, windproof butane ones, and petrol, aka Zippo ones, because they're pretty windproof, although they won't last as long as a gas one, but they can light in any conditions. I would take a steel and matches, definitely. I would take a saw and a neck knife and a large knife, or a saw, a large knife, and a folder. I would not necessarily carry a hatchet because a saw requires less energy to use, and if you injure your dominant arm, you can still use the saw. It's a bit more difficult to use an axe if you injure your dominant arm. I would take a pot holder. I would take all sorts of flammable materials, because if you can't get flammable materials, for a start, the fire still will be useless, such as, take stuff like birch bark, what you're seeing here, some birch. I would take 2 reliable watches. I would take a power bank for your phone for emergencies. If you are within phone range, I would tell someone reliable where you're going and when to actually call the cavalry, call out the troops. And actually, first of all, it would be best to have thoroughly hiked these regions in summer months or better weather, so you're very familiar with those regions before embarking in the same regions when they're snow covered, because things can look completely different. So if you're not familiar with the landmarks, you could get yourself into big trouble.